welcome to Outside the Box. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia. We're going to have another amazing show for you guys tonight. For those of you that tuned into Wednesday or have heard Wednesday's show, you will already know our wonderful guest that came back, because there's some things that we need to clarify, and there's a lot of other things that I know that Peter and I both want to talk about in our quest, and shall be the ultimate goal and will be the ultimate win of taking down this fraudulent system, period. Peter, are you there?
I am here.
Does that sound like a good plan to you, or what?
Sounds like a winner. Hey, they're going to self-implode upon themselves because they're caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Ain't that special?
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. That way there's no vengeance on this. It's just a matter of, hey, you assume me to be a merchant of law? Well, I assume you to be the same. So it's either you're ignorant or fraudulent. Lesser of two evils? I don't know. Pick one, goose or gander.
Yep.
Works for me anyway. So, we're going to talk a bit about Divine Province tonight, I hope. And those that are still on the plantation, as you call it, or as I like to call it, still stuck in Babylon, as in carrying around, fraudulent, illegal, not UID, government supplied, of course. And we all know what government means. Govern is, to Latin, is rectum, and meant to Latin is mind. So if you are worshiping and voting for a government, guess where your head is? It's in the rectum mind.
Well, hey, Kay, I got something else interesting. Read the word government, take out the G, then you got over, then take out the N, and then you got men. It's over men. It's right inside. It tells you right in the dadgum word. I showed that to my daughter yesterday. She got a good kick out of it.
Oh, it's all there, and none of this is by coincidence, because you've known me long enough now that my quest for the last number of years has been to decipher the langage code, the language tongue pledge code, and we finally got there. And there are no coincidences, and everything makes absolute sense when you can see it in the now. And that's where both you and I and so many of us run into the same issues, answering the same questions, generally with the same people all the time. And all that tells me is that people aren't in that moment of now that they need to be to become self-aware and aware of solutions. And you and myself and so many others, again, have tried very diligently to get this across to people. And we're very patient, but the time for patience has run out. And right now I have zero tolerance because I see the end game, whereas people are still choosing conflict and controversy, that somehow they need to beat these guys. No, this is not about winning or losing. This is about neutralizing, and that's exactly what both aspects, both Divine Province and understanding how to settle your account. Both things apply, one on one side of the fence,
right.
One
well, you hit the nail on the head. They're both going to peace options, believe it or not. One's on the slave side of the fence, the other one's on the peace side of the fence that I'm already on, so that's a good thing. But when you go to settle the account, hey, sweetheart, we're not warring with them. Hey, here's the documents. Hey, let's bring them forward so we can go to settle in love and harmony. Hey, I'm willing to give you the substance. Hey, it's all good. Matter of fact, Hollywood covers that very well.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But the traffic's not too bad. I'm kind of faced away from it tonight, so it is good actually. So, and I've got my mic a little less hot, so it shouldn't be as bad tonight.
Very good.
Yeah, again, and here it is in a nutshell for those that are tuned in right now. What is being presented to you are both options. Both options are for you to go to peace, either inside the slave game or outside of it. And both are as sure as death here. And once people fully grasp this, and Peter, I think you can concur on this, that we have come to full circle a few times, coming back to the same things all the time. But every time we go around that track, we pick up new information, and we get more time to scan around us, see the scenery. So it's a whole lot clearer. For some of us, we've been around this merry-go-round, a dozen times or more, and that's why it had to come back to where we're at now. And this particular remedy and knowledge has been known for, 8 years or so? When did Gene...
Gene's been putting it on the street since 2004 that I know of.
Yeah, so there's 8 years, and but again, and my feeling on it is always this: you're not going to be ready for something until you're ready for it, and it will not appear until enough people grasp this. And look what happened. It just magically reappears. And I'm going to be talking about a few things that are pending and coming up. I'm going to have some fun in absolute peace and harmony. And if the Crown thought they didn't like me before, they're not going to like me a whole lot even less.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I'm not picking a fight. I never picked one fight. That's the thing, is I questioned, and I dared to stand. And while I've got you, I wanted to get your opinion on this. How valuable do you think video evidence in any case is?
I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty strong. But you know, I've had the clowns at the circus tell me when I had pictures taken of a windshield that they said, "Well, how do we know?" It had a date time stamp on it, and the DA still pulled her magic. You know what I'm saying? Lied and crooked. And how do I know that's that's all they know. It's tricks is for kids from the scum sucking bottom feeders. So I gotta love it.
Okay. So can I share with you something that cannot be disputed? It's irrefutable.
Help me.
Yeah, there was this little video I happened to star in 2 years ago, September 1st, 2010 actually, where on video, you've probably seen it, the judge bows, right?
Yeah, I told you you're on suijurors.me. I already got you posted on the video, sweetheart.
Well, here's how powerful that video really is. You are going to love this. You are so going to love this. Because here's the reality check that the system's going to have with that. One, they can't deny the video's existence because it's been seen by hundreds of millions of people. That's one. Two, also, what is in that video, and it's right there for all to see, and it was announced as to what it was, a sealed copy of the birth certificate bond that was attached to me was delivered to them for full payment. It's right in the video. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and from a very reasonable position, I'm going to ask you, a very reasonable being. Now, if you're going to assume that I'm a merchant of law, you know, an expert in commercial paper and negotiable instruments, right? Yeah.
Right.
You're the judge. You're going to assume that of me. Now, if you assume that of me, what can I assume of you? Well, you must know, because you must be an expert, a merchant of law, rather. So you must be an expert in commercial paper and negotiable instruments as well. So
yeah, they worked in it all day. Yeah, they doing the bonds.
So why is it, you know, my assumption is you know what to do with the bond. Why didn't you do it? Or you must be either one of two things. You must either be completely incompetent and do not really understand how commercial paper works, which means you shouldn't be doing that job to begin with. So there's your first option. Or the second option is this. You know exactly what the document was, and I'm assuming you know what to do with it. It's payment in full that I presented to the court, and I told them that's the person you're looking for, and the bond's there, and knock yourself out. So you must be either incompetent, doltish idiot, or completely deceptive, fraudulent, scum-sucking bottom feeders, you like to call them.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I say option two. I go for option two. Can I have option two?
You can have option two, but I think that's a fair assessment of that situation, do you not?
Yeah, damn fair.
Well, you know, they're assuming I'm an expert, so if they can assume that, they can be an expert then.
Yep.
Because, and I'll be blunt, only an asshole knows what an asshole is. You know, I'm sorry, that's how it works in my universe. So I'm not out to, I'm not going to question their assumption as long as they don't question mine. So I think that's more than fair. Yeah, so that's going to be part of a little bit of fun and games I'll be having first of the week. And we're going to be opening up all sorts of cans of worms because once I get this whole thing put together, which won't take long at all, meeting up with a very dear friend, very knowledgeable friend of mine tomorrow that has certain powers within their system of making sure that things get through.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. This being called me a week and a half ago, I hadn't talked to him in 5-6 months. and out of the blue. And as a matter of fact, the same being on Wednesday night when we were talking about, people needing to go out and get tickets just to go in and settle them, just to show them that the ruse is up. And we thought it'd be great if someone could get a ticket. And who got a ticket? This very, very interesting being who happens to be able to walk, in uniform and carries a lot of weight. And he got 2 tickets, and they actually stole his car.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. I got a couple of minutes with him yesterday. I tried to get it back up with him this morning. I posted for him, but I never got back to him. But he was enlightened me a little bit. I didn't get the rest of the story from him.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. You're going to get the rest of that story anyway. I was just going to tag Tony there, let him know his mic hot. So, Tony, are you on the air there?
I am indeed, Kate. Hi again, Peter.
Hey, Tony, what's up, brother? Long time no talk to.
Excellent.
Hey, Kate, I gotta interject something for a second because I got to get Tony snapped into my Yankee sense of humor. He hasn't quite got it yet because I put him in the deep end, and he said you sent your documents twice. I says, yeah, well, it's just double trouble. Anyways, it was funny. And then he sent me 2, but I knew they were separated correspondences and separated books. And I said, hey, you sent me 2 of these. He didn't get the joke. I said, dadgum. I said, y'all got to get on the Yankee page over here. Anyway, I think he's getting my sense of humor now. Are you not, Tony?
Absolutely. I'm working on it.
That's all good. I'll snap you in, brother. I know you're a quick study. I can tell.
Yeah, he is. I pick him all the time, and I try to bring him up to speed on that silly North American humor stuff.
Yeah. Hell, I'm a damn Yankee, and they try to get rid of me out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I go down south, and they let me, the same country, and they get all excited. They try and send me back up north, and well, they call me a damn Yankee because I stayed down and I went down and I stayed. I says, hey, it's all good. They say you talk too fast, and I said, you just got to listen faster. That's all.
Yeah, and that's actually you bring up a very, very valuable point because I know Tony, myself, you, and lots of others that are at the fore of this, trying to get this information to people, are constantly inundated and hammered by people thinking that they are the only ones on this planet that need help. And the whole game that we're focused on here is not to help the one, but to help the all. I've got better things to do with my time than freeze at night in a tent, guys. Okay? Yep. I've got better things to do with my time than repeat myself over and over and over and over again when it was very, very clear to begin with. And not only that, all the information that you will ever need is on all the websites. All you got to do...
Right. It's sort of like the call. It's like the call we did yesterday. I was going fast. I didn't really care. You know why? Because I got it all posted, and it's all the documents, everything that you need to go read, and broke down into the I call it digestible chunks. It's all there. So you know what? If I go too fast, hey, no problem. You're gonna get to go on the Valium pace by just going over the site, clicking on everything. Listen to the audio, get the documents, get the overview that I gave on paper, and you can read it 5,000 times as slow as you want, and you'll probably get the point eventually. And so, I'm not trying to be a dork here, but at the same time, I hear the whiners come on like yesterday. One guy whining that he's talking too fast and blah 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 blah. Yeah, you know what? I don't really care. Ask me if I care. I'm not. I got it posted, so you'll be able to catch it.
And also, I posted the link for Audacity.com, which is a downloadable that you can actually go into. You download it from the Freedom Reigns blog talk page, which you can get to through Freedom Reigns. That's freedomreigns.us, by the way. And you can put it into the Audacity, and you can slow it down as much as you want. The problem is this. I didn't come with an anchor installed, and I'm not buying one. And that's basically what I'm going to say. It's like my coattails have been clipped onto for a very long time by a great many people, and right now we're in the home stretch in the Emerald City here. We have the answers, we have the solutions, and it is all about peace, love, truth, and honor. That's where we ended up because that's where we started out. we didn't go into this in a state of war. This was about how do we figure this out, and how do we come to peace with this, and how do we, get free. And boy, you got to lose that whole belligerent attitude, or you're doomed.
Yep. Well, I'm going to go slower tonight because I took 2 Xanax before I got on the call, so I could go into slow motion. It's all good. I'm only kidding. I didn't take anything, but anyways, I'd like to take it slow tonight, and let's digress on any topics that anybody wants to throw out. Tony, yourself, and myself included, and I will take it at a little slower pace just so that we can have a little education time.
Yeah, that sounds great. One of the questions that was coming up a little bit, and I already knew the answer to it, and I shared this, and we're going to share it again because really, when you're dealing with these guys, they've been playing the deception bluff game for a very long time. So you can call them amazing, amazing poker players. So what you have to do is learn to be a poker player too. And people were asking in the specific question of, where do I find the CUSIP numbers? Peter, what's the correct answer there?
They won't find it, but it doesn't matter because the correct answer is you don't care what the dadgum CUSIP is because all it is a reference point to basically it's one of your cards in your hand because you're not even supposed to know about the CUSIP. They can post it, print it, what the acronym means, and that's all you need it for because all it is when you go in and go to settle the account, you bring up the CUSIP. You don't have to have your own. It's like all the other documents. This is good. I'm glad you're covering this. Because what I was trying to bring forward on yesterday's call was the whole point of the exercise of having the documents, and they're all blank, by the way, is not for anybody to learn how to fill them out. We don't have to fill out crap. You know what? They already got the documents filled out for you. They're sitting behind the desk in the DA's office, and he'll be glad to bring them forward to you when you go to settle the account. Yeah, not. But the point I'm trying to make is, when you bring the pile of documents and they get to look at them in front of their face and you line them up on the counter like Diatra did, then there's no plausible deniability that the documents exist, so they know exactly what you're talking about. So now we got a poker game.
Yeah, now the bluff is called, and because they don't want this information out, they're going to make the case disappear. Stop. And here's the game, as I see it. When enough people just do that, that's all it's going to take. You just walk in, I'm here to settle the account. You walk in with your birth certificate, with your BC number. That's your bond. That's yours. And you can use that to pay anything that they bring on charges. And the other thing is, he or she who brings the charge gets to pay the bill.
That's right. That's why I want to talk to the DA. Let me share a quick story from yesterday. I had a brother who went to go play ball, and I love my brother. It's all good. But he didn't even take the time to really read what I was trying to say, and he didn't really get what I was putting down. So he goes in to these clerks of the court, and they're playing the good concealers that they are. And the only bond we got is the recognizance bond from the bailiff or the bailee or whatever. And see, right at that point there, okay, now I'm going to give some people some education. If that's the resistance you want to get, then you tell them go bye-bye and get me somebody who's competent. Matter of fact, go get the DA. I want to talk to the guy who brought the charges. See, because he has the capacity and the ability to settle the account because he's the one who brought the charge. Like you say, he who brings the charge pays the bill. So no problem. But he's not going to want to pay the bill because he got you to get in the game to start with on the very front end when you walked into the court and took the onus of the fiction, answering up to that fiction name in court, and that's called drafting you for performance. This is what they do on the front end. So that's what got the case and the ball rolling in the constructive trust number. That's the case number. Every new case is a constructive trust. It's independent of itself. So when they brought that charge, and you answered up to it, then they got the game. So that's where the bouncing ball starts, and then sometimes they'll appoint some clown at the circus to represent you, or represent you, they call it, but it's called representing. And so now you get this mouthpiece who's supposed to be pretty much operating on your behalf, but yeah, it's not a good idea. So anyways, that's what brings the case into play. So that's why before it goes to finality, everyone has the option at any given time before it goes to finality to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to go settle the account. And that's when you go to the countertop and string along your pile of papers, your surety bond, standard form 28. You got your standard form 24, 25, and 25A. It's all on suijuris.me on the audios page. I got all the attaching documents. Brother Michael did a great job for me today by attaching everything. Matter of fact, you can just go to gpo.gov and download every document. It's a PDF file. But the point in the exercise is I'm bringing everything to the plate because I want them to know that I really stinking know. And I'm not going home until somebody either settles the account or kicks my ass out the door and tells me that the case is no longer existing. So it's going to be one or the other. And you know what? They can't throw me in the jug because I'm coming in harmony and love. I'm not being adversarial. They're the ones that are concealers. So in essence, you have the right to stand fast, and because you remove the controversy by saying you want to settle the account. You want to go to full closure and settle the account. That's all I want to do. I'm trying to share the love. I just want to settle the account. Here's my birth certificate bond. Have the DA endorse the back and settle the account. I'm ready to. Hey, you don't have to waste your time dragging my ass to court to go in front of the judge. I'm here to fix this problem here and now, and I can't leave until I settle the account. And that's where my brother didn't pit bullet. He actually laid down like milquetoast because he didn't know what he's supposed to know because he chose. And he was sort of binded up, though. He's really been I can't blame him. He's been binded up on multiple levels. Now they're attacking his wife. So, see, this is how they operate. Well, we have such love and honor on our hearts for our fellow man that we're going to come screw your friggin' wife through the back door so we can really make your life miserable. Anyways, I don't mean to get spouting off and negative. Anyways, the point is this. You have the right to settle the account at any given time, and that is the whole point in the exercise of these blank documents. So for all these folks out here who are listening to this call, please don't try and fill these documents out. Please don't send me an email. Please don't send me an email on how to settle how to fill these documents out because, frankly, I don't know and I don't really give a crap. That's not the objective here. The objective is to settle the account. And everybody has an opportunity at any given time before the case goes to finality to settle the account, and that's the whole point of the exercise. So you're holding four aces, they're holding 2 twos, and you just got to stand fast and play your hand.
So, Peter, just for those that we need to speak slower for, I just want to get this right. You've given them out, I've given them out, they're on your site, they're on mine on the blog page, loveovermine.wordpress.com. So feel free to download them. So what you're saying is, now this is the rocket science part of it, what you're saying is people actually have to have a printer and know how to use it to print out these forms to leave them blank. Is that slow enough? Was that slow enough?
All right, yeah, there you go. Right,
I think that's pretty clear. And I'm going to be a sarcastic, arrogant bitch tonight because I'm tired. If this question comes up, and I'm going to tell everyone that's listening that might be in my contacts or Facebook, if any one of you asks me the question of what do they fill in those documents, I am going to block you. That's how serious this is. If you cannot print a blank page, I have no time for you. I'm sorry, I cannot educate you. You are beyond educatable, period. I'm going to say that. Go back to sleep, put the little bell on around your neck, and go follow the rest of the sheep, and turn your TV on, and have your Diet Coke and your biggie-sized burgers, because that's where you're living. What I need people to do is understand the simplicity of the concept of having caught somebody, as you put it, Peter, with their hand in the cookie jar. This is time to slam the lid. And that's all it's going to take. And gosh darn, you just have to print some paper stuff out, and we've got all the stuff sitting there with all the instructions and everything. So don't ask me how to do it. It's there. Is that fair? I think that's fair.
That's excellent. And matter of fact, the whole post on my overview, just to try and give some clarity, I actually typed it. And I hate typing, folks. I hate typing. Matter of fact, my brother Michael cleaned up all my typing errors because my fingers overload my brain, and I type fast. I mean certain, anyways, He cleaned it all up real pretty, so it's actually posted as an attachment. It said, and hey, Kate, I even went so as far as to say, read me first. So just in case anybody missed it, read me. That's where you start. Read me first, and then you can attach all the documents. They're actually now downloadable PDFs. When you click on it, it will bring it up, and you can actually do that. So I'm going to break it down to the simple. It's sort of like what I done with Sui Juris Me. I wanted to make, I love my brothers and sisters enough to know that they've been diverted from the plane, and I need to give them a little bit more TLC. So I'm cool with the TLC because they have been effectively dumbed down from their birth. And so this is not sarcasm, this is love. So I love them enough to actually break it down to the simplistic with the 5 easy steps. So even if they're advanced in their thinking processes and all this other stuff, I don't want them to look real hard. I mean, when we put SuiJuris.me up when we first started 4 months ago, I said, Michael, I said, how many people are coming to the page and whatever? And there was hardly anybody. I'm saying, well, either we're doing something wrong or we're doing, well, obviously we're not, we must be doing something wrong. I mean, but we have everything in the headers, the videos, the audios, the education page, everything's there. But I said, Michael, nobody's going to the headers. I guess they don't understand how to click on the header. So I guess, you know what, I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to break this down to the simplest with 5 simple steps. I did military training. I figured if I could do some military training and train Marines how to deal with compound fractures and fix their fellow man if Doc got shot, that's I'm the Doc. If I go bye-bye, then I won't be there to patch nobody up. So I said, well, maybe it'd be a good idea if I gave them further instructions so that they could help their brothers. Well, this is exactly what I'm doing again. I'm going into a standard operating procedure. It's 5 simple steps, and that's the starting point. Because if they'll watch the 2-hour video, Changes on the Horizon Part 2, and if that doesn't piss you off enough to show how bad you've been screwed your entire life and how the banking system really works, I mean, it's a great little educational 1-hour video. I've actually heard people bitch at me and say, an hour? Yeah, but they'll spend 3 hours watching porn and friggin' filling their head with the garbage, but they won't friggin' find a way to free themselves off the plantation and spend 1 hour watching a video. So anyways, I guess, you know, it's all about priorities, and some people are ready to come through the door and some aren't. But for those that are, if they're half awake and they watch that video, they're going to want to know what Step 2 is about, and Step 3 with the attaching documents, Step 4, and Step 5. And then they will have a lot more clarity. So I wanted to break it down to the simplistic so that my brothers and sisters could get it. And it's an excellent a base educational site, and we're building on it all the time. We have incredible documents on the education page. Matter of fact, Step 3 on the actual home page is got the birth certificate securitization scam. It's a 14-page document that literally breaks it down to the simplistic for all of us. I mean, it should be must reading for every breathing man and woman stuck under the IMF, because if you read it, you're going to be really pissed off. Matter of fact, my brother who actually did that 14-page document explaining it so succinctly about the hypothecation of your signature on every instrument and everything's considered an instrument, it will blow your brain. It's like pulling back the curtain and seeing the naked guy behind the curtain called the Wizard of Oz. It's exposure plus. Matter of fact, my brother's even gone as far as saying, hey, we need to share copies with the DA and those folks at the court because, hey, we want to make sure they understand we know how you're screwing our eyes out. It's all good, folks. You know, we want to, hey, matter of fact, I wish people would start, when they go in and they go to try and settle their account, tell them right on the top of that thing, we know how you're screwing us, right up in there on the top in red, and tell them to bring that to the freaking DA who brought the charge. Because you know what? When the DA reads it, he's going to really know you know, folks. And this is the nicety of this whole thing. So you know what? It's beautiful. This is totally beautiful. We're going in love and harmony. I know I don't sound like it, but I really am, because I got a big heart. Hey, and it's time to let the poop is out the elephant, and they'll never be able to put it back in. But yeah, they're going to try. But you know what? It's not going to happen, folks. The game is really done. And so, anyways, I get excited. Forgot to take my medication today. It's all good.
And you go off. I love it. It's beautiful. Something else. I'm just going to bring a whole bunch of scenarios to the table here for people. I want to show people just how powerful this is. If you want to create a stir, if you're still in law and carrying licenses and stuff like that, if those that are listening end up getting pulled over, may I suggest that you have copies of all these and offer right in there. So, okay, well, no problem. Let's settle the account right here, and throw the curveball at these merchants of law, because that's what they are. They work with paper all day too, and then you can claim credit.
Okay, can I block you for a second on that?
Sure.
That is not a. That's I'm going to tell you right now. I would never do that, and I'll tell you why.
No.
Because Deputy Donuts doesn't have a clue. He's just a revenue generation agent. He's not in the mix except for the fact that he's justifying his reason for being, for writing however many tickets that justifies his position for having a job to be a revenue generation agent.
I get that. The point I'm trying to make here is the simplicity of it. Now, I'm going to be very specific and particular on anyone that would choose to do this, because what you're going to run into, I've dealt with, as you call them, Deputy Donuts a lot, and they are thicker than two short planks. But I will tell you this. If you ever want to spot someone that they like to call sovereign or free man or whatever, excuse me, they're easy to spot. They're the ones the peaceful individuals surrounded by 5 or 6 cop cars. But here's the thing. What you get the opportunity to do is plant seeds. Now, I mean, this is going to be a particular type of individual. I would do this kind of thing, no problem. Only because I know how to stand and I know what I need to say, and I know that they're going to bring in a supervisor stacked. It's happened too many times with me, where they bring in somebody who does know what's going on. Because if you want to settle the account, it's as simple as saying, well, get the supervisor. You better get yourself call up a justice of the peace or a judge. I want to settle this right now, and I've got the means to do it. And just to create, and all it is for me, and I'm speaking for me. This is not something that I'm telling or suggesting anyone do, but for me, this is what I would do, just to have some giggles with it. That's me, But what I'm trying to do is show people the power of settling of accounts. And of course, keep the peace by all means. If you got some adrenalized gun junkie with an IQ of 90, snarling foaming at the mouth, best to, especially if they're armed, which they are, best to say, good dog, here, give me your treat, and then take it basically the next day back to its source to settle that account then and there. So there's the other option, and this is one of the things that myself and my dear friend are going to be doing come Monday, Tuesday. So we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to get this shit on video. How you like?
Brilliant.
Oh, did we lose Peter?
No, I'm having a brain fart. It's all good.
Oh, you've had a day. I know you were on. How long? Hey, Tony, how long did you have Peter on for? 2 hours?
Only an hour.
Oh, only an hour.
And he wore me out, dude. Hey, he wore me out. He had me so fractured now. I said, oh, my God, I'm going for round 2. I'm drowning here.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going to try to carry the reins here a little bit, because I even told Tony, if I said, Peter's on the show tonight, don't burn him out. So.
No, Tony. Hey, I was just playing. Tony didn't burn me out. It was a great call. I loved it with my brother. He got the point across.
Hey, Tony, what were some of the things that you brought up during that hour with Peter?
Just basically trying to get the information across, the magnitude of it, really. I mean, that's where it's at. It's all the same thing, isn't it? But we've got to get it across to the people so that they understand it.
Yeah. Okay, and it's that simple. If you can print out the blank pages, we've given you the form numbers. For those that don't have access to us, I mean, I make everything accessible to me. So my email, for anyone listening that's going, I don't have the paperwork, you can email me at katierene@live.ca. That's KATIERENE @live.ca. And if you miss that, then you can listen back to the recording, and I'll say it slower. KATIERENE at, a little at symbol, live, LIVE, dot, that's a little like period thing, CA. All right, we're sarcastic and slow enough? Oh, great, guys. So again, this is
Kate, I'm going to send you a couple of Xanax. I'm going to get you even.
I gotta chill out here. The
all good.
Yeah, people. I got to tell you, no one is going to cut your mitten strings for you. You got to do that yourself. And when I stop and I think of the situations that Peter, myself, and Tony in particular, who are on the call right now, what we've actually endured to sit here and share this with you, and how dare you question us for getting pissed off because of someone's stupid questions after having gone through what we have. That's the height of arrogance. That is really an indication of how badly programmed in the system and cane mind you are. Because if you feel the obligation that someone, for some reason, owes you this information, then you need to move along and go back to work at Walmart or McDonald's or any one of those multinational corporations that are killing the planet. Please, go ahead. That's not for me. Sorry.
Anyways, Kate, Tony and I, we got we started integrating a little bit about the position of the Postmaster General and how it come about.
That was my next thing. Let's move on to something beautiful, even more beautiful.
Yes, and that's all located at suijuris.me. That's SUI, like sailor under intercept, SUI, J as in joint, U as in undulate, R as in reject, I as in interested, S as in slave, .me, suijuris.me. It actually has a representative effect. As a matter of fact, I brought it up to Tony and asked him if he knew what sui juris means. There's a reference point to it. Anybody can look it up. Your computers are at your fingertips. Look up sui juris, the word itself, and it literally is specific inclination to the live man, not a dead entity, a persona. So Michael had the foresight of mind to set the website up as called Sui Juris. Go figure. I mean, where's the tie-in here? Anyways, I thought it was a very appropriate thing when he posted it because I was wondering why he did it, so I had to go look it up myself. I'd seen that legal or lawful vernacular used before. I just didn't know what it meant myself, so I said, I got to go look it up. I said, it must be pretty important if Mike decide to name the website after it. So I looked it up, and I said, isn't that amazing? I said, hey, this really fits. So, anyways,
I was going to say what's even more amazing about it, when you take it in the form of French, suijuris.me, what you're saying is me. How's that?
Yep. Anyways, so that's where sort of Tony and I left off, was on the Postmaster General. I was explaining a little bit about original jurisdiction. So, if matter of fact, that'd be a good little starting point, because when the country was created, there was the actual Postmaster General of the free America, when it was actually free for a moment in original jurisdiction, that allowed private post from post to post for ecclesiastical and as well as for brothers to communicate between post to post with their brothers and sisters. In the cloth or whatever, and that was the whole point of the private Postmaster General. It was operating in the private for another man to operate in the private to contact another man, and that was the whole point of original jurisdiction. And then we got this 1871 crap going down, which started a little bit before that, but 1871 is when it became USA Inc., and then it became USPS, and that became the private corporation for profit, which allowed that postmaster to operate as with that fiction hat, for lack of a better term, in that context. So that was basically how the ball got started with the corporation, and it's been running that way ever since. And interesting, because I've been around for a couple of years, back in the 60s when I was coming up, and I'm giving away my age, this is scary. I'm older than dirt, folks. I know. It's all good. Anyways, there was not any zip codes at the time. We didn't have abbreviated states at the time. But the clowns at the circus, being as brilliant as they are, brought forward between there and 1975 the Uniform Commercial Code, as well as, hey, we can get a whole pile of slaves on the plantation simply by using everything in all caps and bringing in the abbreviated state with the zip code, which puts them in 10 miles square of D.C. So for all you out there using that fiction address, yeah, I don't live there. Yeah, you're in there by default because they've got either 9 or 10 zones, and these are what tie and bind us up into those zones, but bring us into 10-mile squares when we start using that fiction address. They call it an address. They're looking for a resident. So if you're operating in those capacities, you have traversed over into no man's land under USA Inc., and they own your ass. You're getting a benefit having that post box out in the front of your house so they can deliver the mail to the slave. You're tied into the lines. You have water lines, sewer lines. All this stuff ties us up. I mean, folks, I ain't smart enough to make this crap up. It's the craziest garbage I've ever had to read, but I've had to go through the exercise of this act to actually figure out how this scam all came about. And it's all tricks for kids on every level. But the irony is, in the 60s, they weren't using the zips and they weren't using the abbreviated state. It wasn't until later in the 60s that they brought it forward under the guise, and it's always the guise, folks. It's carrot stick. Yeah. Oh, the mail will get there quicker now if you'll just use the abbreviated state and zip. What a crock of crap. They sold everybody a can of shit and everybody bought it. So you got to laugh. You got to give them credit though. They're pretty smart on how they've drafted everybody into the game so they can deliver the warrants to your res, to your house. It all ties in and it all makes sense. So anyways, let's go back to Postmaster General in original jurisdiction. Under the auspices of the original jurisdiction, you weren't binded up as a slave on the plantation at that time. They had to create a diversion. They had to create some trickery, and they are the masters of trickery. So it's all good. But when we go back to original jurisdiction with this postmaster, the seat that John Potter has declined on sitting in of USPS Inc., and so he's basically abandoned his post. He literally has abandoned his position, and it's been abandoned because we've been under the War Powers Act since 1863. It started with old little Lincoln. So anyways, I guess I'm sort of belaboring a little history lesson, but you have to understand how far back the game goes to get some clarity. So that I want people to understand original jurisdiction is a very good thing, but back in the day before they integrated all this scammery, everybody operated in the capacity in unlimited liability. If you harmed your neighbor, you made good to your neighbor. If you harmed his sheep or his goat or whatever, and you created a duress, there was no insurance companies to underwrite a scam because insurance is just is gambling, just like the Social Security insurance. All that's one just big tontine policy they sucked everybody into, and they like it when the slaves go out and buy more insurance because it's all limited liability. So it gives the state the capacity to interject in your game and busy themselves in your world and suck the ever-loving life out of you, your substance, because you're a slave on the plantation and you just didn't know it. But by committing these contracts, and they're all adhesion contracts, this took you out of original jurisdiction through your capacity, through falsities perpetrated upon you by your dumbed-down parents and your dumbed-down grandparents. So we can't really blame them, but yeah, in a way we can because they all fell asleep at the wheel and got busied with the bullshit of the world, so they got lost in the shuffle. So then you come up with interesting things like, I asked my parents when I was a kid, hey, why are you paying a property tax? Well, that's just the way we do it. Well, that's a logical answer, isn't it, folks? Because that's the way we do it. Well, that really explains everything. Now I really get it. I'm being facetious as hell, folks, but that's the crap my parents fed me as a child. I said, well, gee, in school we learned under the Constitution you were free and unencumbered, and by the way, the Constitution's a crock of crap too because we weren't a party to it. We weren't signatory to it. It doesn't apply to us. It was supposed to apply to the states only. Anyways, long story short, let's get back to the Postmaster General in original jurisdiction. original jurisdiction in the divine province is a good thing. So since Potter decided he wanted to stand down, and JT went to him and said, hey, brother, you're sitting in an abandoned post. When are you going to retake back your hat in original jurisdiction? And Potter never answered up. So JT basically, by delictal default, actually issued the delictal default. I mean, all this is on the PMG website, which is on, you can get through it through the side door off of suijuris.me, and you can go read everything I read. Because I'm not smarter than anybody, folks. I just read everything, and I got my history lesson, and I referenced it. I didn't believe that what was being said by the horse's mouth, so I actually looked for references to tie in the bouncing ball. So I got my game face on and dug in, and I said, that's exactly right. I said, this guy's not blowing smoke. I said, this is really good. So I said, I'm going to dig in further. I like this original jurisdiction thing. This is really neat. So I pursued it further, and I read further. Everything that the postmaster done, he set up his own. Matter of fact, he's got a 36-page treaty that everybody needs to go read over at the PMG site. It's all available, and I read everything. See, folks, I didn't take nobody's word for it. I researched it, and I referenced it, and I dug in, because you know what? It's all about the truth. Those of us that are really looking for the truth, we find it at every turn. It's really, really good. And I know Tony is a truth seeker. I know Kate is a truth seeker. And now y'all listen to this phone call. I know y'all are truth seekers if you're hanging out with us tonight. And that's a good thing, because you're going to get all your questions answered if you're willing to just go read. So we have to break down this clicker mentality. And I was telling Tony about that earlier today. I said, we live in a world where they got a clicker mentality, and I had to explain myself. I said, they got the TV clicker. When they get bored with something for 30 seconds, they go on to the next channel. When they get bored with that, they go to the next channel. Well, it's the same when people read and digest information. They read one paragraph, they get bored and diverted, and they stop. So the attention span of a gnat thing is what's killing my America. It's killing the UK. It's killing Australia. They have successfully kept us so busy with diversions that we can't quiet our mind long enough to read past 3 pages. It's a sad state of affairs, folks, but guess what? There's a remedy. The remedy is you got to have a longer attention span. So I don't know, if you got to put yourself on some of the FDA's pharmaceutical medications that will allow you a longer attention span, hey, knock yourself out. I don't need no medications. I know I've been told different, but this is how I focus. This is how I dig in, because I've been looking for the truth just like the rest of you. And if you'll just dig in, I promise you, with everything in my heart, that you will get your answers if you're willing to dig a little bit. And I'm excited because the option is open for everybody. Hey, we ain't hiding nothing, folks. We ain't playing close to the vest. You get the same knowledge base that I get if you're willing to go read, and that's what it comes down to. So, Kate's been banging the gong for the last week or so and whatever, and it really comes down to doing our part. If we want to know the truth, we're going to have to dig in order to internalize that truth, and it only comes from diligence. And you know what? Freedom only comes with the responsibility to take an action. In taking an action, that action word, that's the operative word, but it requires us to do something. I can't go to nobody's house and read this stuff for them. Well, I could read it. I don't know. I guess if you were willing to pay to fly me there, I could read it for you at your bedside. That would be cool too. Anyways, I'm not trying to be a smart ass, and I shouldn't even be saying this. I apologize.
I love it. Don't apologize. You're stating the facts as they need to be stated. And really, Peter, honestly, that is the state of affairs with most people. I did want to, you brought up a couple of things there that I'd like to touch on with regards to the treaty. And that's one of the things that people don't understand if they're not familiar with the League of Nations and American and what a treaty and the power of a treaty, what a treaty actually is. That is something that Deputy Jones, as you call them, does not want to trespass on knowingly. Because as soon as they become aware or are made aware that they are crossing an international treaty boundary, they get their nuts clipped real quick and they get real polite. I think you had JT had an incident to that effect, or you, I'm not sure. and
no,
that's something else. Let me just ask before you. Then I'm going to let you rip again. You sent me an email. I forwarded it to my group and what have you. There's a lot of things on there that I think that you need to people need to know what's going on in the winning department, because they, the Cane Eagle needs proof. Me, I just do because I know what truth is and I act in it. But others need that a little bit of it to get them to that point of the leap of. It is not a leap of faith. There is no faith in truth. There is only truth. You stand in it or you don't. So if you could do that, that would be great. So the treaty thing or the pullover or whatever, and then some of the wins that you outlined in that email would be great.
Yeah, well, it's basically. Matter of fact, Brother JT, he was pulled over I think about a month and a half ago with his international ID as the Postmaster General. And Deputy Donuts, oh boy, he was so excited. Oh, he had a hard-on for Brother JT. He's saying, oh boy, I got you. You're using a false ID. Oh boy, somebody's going to the Gray Bar Motel today. Yeah, well, he got his wake-up call about 30 minutes later when he started making the phone calls, which JT had told him. JT didn't argue. He stayed in love and harmony. It was all good. It was beautiful. Deputy Donut's boss, he was all excitable too, like the little girl he was, thinking we got us a criminal here. That's all they can think is we got us a criminal. They'll invent shit just to think they got a criminal. Anyways, within about JT specifically told him, yeah, go run the card. That's all he told him to do. He stayed in his non-combative, no warring, no nothing, no belligerence. He just told the clown of the circus to go run the card. And so he goes up to the car with his supervisor. He was with them. And they're back there. They're making phone calls, dialing numbers. I don't know. Hey, they're talking to the president. I don't know. Maybe they had a conference call with the president. Anyways, the irony of the situation is after about 30 minutes of them chugging along, the junior Deputy Donuts comes back to the car like a humble little puppy dog with his tail between his legs and says, "We really apologize, sir. We didn't know." Yeah, what didn't they know? What they didn't know that he was not one of their slaves on the dadgum plantation, and they were dealing with an international diplomat outside their jurisdiction with no capacity to deal. It's all about jurisdiction. So that was the first test. But we've had multiple successes along those lines since we had this seminar 2 weeks ago, and my brothers having their international IDs. Matter of fact, I got to go play with mine yesterday. I had a great time. I went down to see the postmaster in Podunk here, and I call it Podunk because it's population about 1,500. If you one flashing light, you blink, you'll miss it. But it's all good. And I went right in, walked in. I had a postal money order, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Can you?" I held out the nice gold strip money order, the postal money order. And I said, "You got enough money in the box to take care of that?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, I just need to see an ID." Because they've started this new scam, folks. But I'll come back to that in a second. So I whip out my international ID, and I give it over to her. And anyways, she doesn't even read the language on the She doesn't even read the language that I'm an international diplomat with the Divine Province. All she's looking for is a dadgum digit so she can so she thinks she's got some tracer numbers to put up back on that friggin' worthless piece of paper that I got to go cash. Anyways, folks, this is the funny part. She puts all the digits on the back of the postal money order. I'm chuckling to myself. She says, "Yeah, what are you going to do, trace it to the Divine Province and send the Divine Province a bill for a taxable activity?" Because that ain't happening. But the new game they're doing, folks, that for those of you unaware, is for those of you cashing postal money orders with your government ID, that's a tracking device for a taxable event. So all those FRNs they give you, they basically got them tracked for you by you giving them the digits off your government ID. Well, it's not what I'm giving her is not a government ID. It's my international Divine Province ID. And there is no taxable event. Anyways, Kate, I got some bad news, so I'm going to have to call back in because this phone's crap the bed. I burned one up today, and I burned two up today But my black phone, my other bat phone, if I can call back in, can they get me through?
Yeah, I've got the board here. So go ahead, grab your other phone, and I'll keep my eyes on the board, waiting for you to come back. And in the meantime,
right.
I think we can handle the helm. Yeah. So
hey,
go do your thing.
Tony. Yeah, I just got lost on my way to Grandma's house, so I'm sorry I went off on a tangent. Anyways, I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, Peter. I'll keep them entertained. Trust me.
All right, I'll be back shortly.
Okay. All right, so we'll have Peter back on the line as soon as he gets another phone with a battery charge. That would be great. But Tony, we're starting to not only see but have the ability to show people exactly what it is we've been speaking on. And I can't begin to express the joy and the pleasure finally sitting here where I'm sitting, seeing what I'm seeing and knowing what I'm knowing, where we finally have them by the Achilles heel, and now we're just handing out arrows, very gentle arrows, and these are the fatal shots to the system. And one of the things that I'll ask you, I just want to get your perspective on it. When you get enough people doing this, and it won't take long, it will not take long. One of the things I'll get your feedback on it. If someone is going to do this, they're going to be branded in the system, because I know we are. There's no question. But what's going to happen, my feeling is they'd be branded as untouchable. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Definitely. I knew I resonated with every fibre of my being when I first came across your stuff and Santos' stuff. I was like, yes, finally this is it. And now to see it come through to this grand completion, which is the same thing that I've always been after, which is diplomatic immunity. I mean, that's basically, this is it. This is, you are out of that system and you are free, finally. And it's the ultimate holy grail of what we've been looking for.
Yeah, and something else that Peter brought up, I'm not sure if anyone was listening this, one of the things that Peter brought up was he took a regular postal order, which is system, and he used an out-of-system identification to make the transaction happen. You see, that's the whole illusion of what ID is. I mean, it is what it is. It's the id entity. That's the id, the ego. The meat stick. That's the id entity. And regardless of whether, and these don't carry photographs, they don't carry any family names, because that's where the big trap is, in the family name. And something else I wanted to bring up as well with regards to the video, the Judge Bow's video, and every time, it's amazing in that 2 minutes and 34-second video that's out there, of everything that's in there was everything that was ever needed. I learned something new in retrospect thinking about it, because during that whole process, they were trying to create Joinder with the name. I wouldn't give them anything but the former name Keith. That was it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that is what stymied them. So they weren't even able to get to step 2 of creating the Joinder to begin with. And that's why when I dismissed the case, that case was dismissed. And the rest of it just became a dog and pony show in order to keep the mass thinking that, oh, there's someone thinking they can get away with something, keeping that smoke and mirrors alive. Boy, we've been through the mill, eh?
Yeah, you had it all along, didn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that. And not only that, I've got videotape evidence of a judge bowing and running. Okay, so that's a good one. That's the only one that I know of in existence. And it's the other part of it too. The only other I've never seen another video where a birth certificate bond was handed in for full payment. And I told him that's the person you're looking for, and you know what to do with it, but he didn't do it. So he's either an idiot or a fraudster, and I'm going to go with the latter. You know, because it is all about pure fraud, pure deception. I mean, that's the word magistrate. They're all the word magicians, and they're trying to keep everybody dumbed down. It's a big double cross.
Exactly. This is the point, and now it's been uncovered, so it's non pro tunc.
As if it never was. That's one of my favorite term at the end of every document. Well, I had a few, but this one was always in every document. Ab initio ad infinitum non pro tunc, which means just before it began until infinity, as if it never was.
Exactly.
Works for me. I think that neutralizes it pretty good. now we have a means for others who are trapped in the system for now. But I'll tell you this: anyone that's listening, if you have any shred of doubt or whatever, again, and you don't have to be a pit bull per se, but you definitely have to be a 5-year-old kid not taking no for an answer in the cereal aisle. And these guys will yield, especially if you've got a nice group of people around you, and you're constantly saying, "I'm here to settle the account. Why? This is what this is for. These are the forms. You need to fill these out. You probably already have them filled out. I need the QSIP numbers, and I'm here to settle the account." You make sure everyone hears you. Put on a show. All the world's a stage. Have some fun.
I think this. We need to get out there with a video camera and demonstrate this, don't you? Just for a laugh.
Yeah, just to have shits and giggles, And of course, the video camera that I carry still has the original Judge Bows to Sovereign video in it. So I'm still carrying the original camera that took that video.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of funny because the night they raided my house, of course Sue was getting rushed out the door, at shotgun point, and one of the other cops in there, female actually, she noticed the camera sitting on the counter, and she actually picked it up and handed it to Sue. She said, "This is why I know there's watchers, good and bad." Okay, she handed it to Sue and said, "Oh, you're going to need this. Don't forget this."
Beautiful. And
so
we.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
And we're just about to add part 2 to that one.
Yeah, part 2, and we're going to have a little bit of fun, and I'm going to go on my dancing shoes. Oh, and it looks like we have Peter back. Just pulling Peter back into the call here. Peter, is that you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah. Careful.
Oh, I was actually able to call it in on the Skype. My Magic Jack doesn't like doing these calls.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is live radio. We're not supposed to have fun. We're supposed to be really serious, okay?
Yep.
I've been doing live radio for 4.5 years now. And I got to tell you, and this is going back to being on FM radio. Yeah, some of the shows that I've pulled on the internet radio stations where there's a whole lot less of quote regulations, like I would give a shit anyway. But I was like this on FM radio. I made a lot of people nervous.
Yep.
It's good. It's good for. And oh, by the way, I have claim to fame of having the last true freedom radio show on FM radio. That was Aaron Radio. So there you go. Funny how everything always goes back to Ireland, doesn't it? Aaron Gobra? What is that? Oh, and by the way, Tony, as soon as I get my international ID, I will be in the UK.
Excellent. Beautiful. Well, we've got a place ready for you.
Okay. I'm going to need it. I'm still in the tent. And looks like we have some issues with the other thing. I'll have to talk about that later.
All right. Get the picture.
Yeah. I'd say it's all good. It's all good. Just a lot of things just not lining up for everyone, and all things for a reason. And my attitude is very simply this: I'll have my house back shortly. So.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm going to piece whether they want to play fair or not. I don't care. I'm going to get this out to everyone, and I'm going to make the legal court system a freaking nightmare.
It already is a freaking nightmare.
It sounds like a little war to me, Kate.
No. This is with love,
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm buying that crap.
Yeah, well, it's like this. I will go at them, but I won't shove a 9mm Glock in their face. How's that? Does that sound a bit more peaceful? Where they shove shotguns and 9mm penis extensions in the face of Sue and my youngest daughter, and a 9mm Glock penis extension in my face for doing nothing except being truthful and lawful and trying to get to the bottom of this ruse. I think just going in with some paper with a bit of an attitude is not necessarily going to war. I don't condone violence whatsoever. But I'm going to ask you this, Peter, and I do want to bring this up because I think this is a very, very important thing. And what I'm trying to do here is give the expose as to why, the most important reason why this system has to come down. And it's like this. If you really know what you're doing and you can handle yourself and you are a pit bull, you can literally get away with murder in their system because it's all commercial. OJ did. That's the scary part. That's why this system has to come down. That's why this whole commercial ruse has to be gone. Because if you really know how to handle your stuff, you could literally blow somebody away and discharge it with your bombs. That is absolutely insanity.
Yep.
That's why I will never offer to help anyone who has harmed another. Never. And I've had a few people ask me, years back, early on in this game, about handling lawyers and stuff like that. And, I used to get email after email on all sorts of crap. And I tell you, there was a couple, I got charged with assault and everything. Well, I can't help you. You're violent. Next. Hey, you want to do an act of violence? You pay the price for it, commercial or otherwise. I don't give a rat's about. But I'm just trying to show people exactly how dangerous this system is in its ability for people and that's why cops and the rest of them get away with murder. It's all done on a discharge. Just
hey, there's plenty of people. Kate, there's plenty of people joining the army going out there.
Yeah. It's but I just want to get your thoughts on that, Peter.
In reference to?
No, just the overall concept of how ridiculously insane the system is in the commercial sense and why it needs to come down.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can belabor that all day long. I mean, I've got more horror stories than Carter's got pills, so that's why I'm trying to. That's why I'm not trying to feed the negative energy. So I'm moving forward in a new direction. I know how to play ball. I know how to play ball in a whole different game now.
Yeah, again, and I don't want to seem like I'm pushing that. I'm not. What I'm trying to do is to show how the system has to, and we all have a duty to go at it with peace, love, truth, and honor, to take it down where we can all learn to get along, little doggy. I think that would be a lot better, don't
you? Well, anyway, do you want to hear a few more success stories?
Yeah, yes, please. Your phone's a bit crackly, so I'm not sure. You're coming through clear enough, but please share the success stories. That is absolutely paramount at this point. We need to instill the knowledge of hope. I'm not talking hope. This is factual doing, people, of getting the job done the right way. So go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, the day after the seminar, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. My brother Juan, who I helped administrate process, he completed it, and I met up with him at the seminar, and he had to leave out that day on Sunday, and he had to get on a plane, of course, because he was on the East Coast. He was going to California, and he was going through the TSA, the feely uppers, and they wanted to see his ID, so he busted out his international ID. And they actually looked at it and saw the Washington, D.C., 1300 Pennsylvania mailing address on the back, and they saw that he was a diplomat in the front, and they waved his happy ass through like, hey, he's a diplomat, move him on through. You gotta love it.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
Instead of busting his hump like they bumped all the common face humps, they actually rolled him on through extra quick, and they saw that D.C. address on the back. Oh, he's out of D.C. He gets through quick. Can you believe that crap? You gotta love it when you're with the Divine Providence. You get a little more carte blanche authority, I guess. That was the same day on the completion of the seminar that he was able to field test it, as well as I got multiple other ones on driving and. Anyways, we're working on getting the people's vehicles off the plantation next, and that hasn't been. It was brought forward at the seminar. We just have to get the title to transfer the vehicle off the plantation. So that's being worked on right now. son. But my brother Michael, our Sui Juris webmaster, he had a success today. He had to go draw some cash out of his account at from his fiction bank account, and he posted up his international driver's permit. They wanted some ID. He was figuring they were going to bust his hump, but they didn't. They gladly gave him some FRNs from his bank account and utilizing his international driver permit from the Divine Province. So there was another success. So, folks, to all you naysayers, and I know there's a ton of them out there, well, they could just stay on the slave plantation for as long as they like, or they can come on over and the water's fine. I've been saying this for the last 6 months, and now we have proof. So here we've got proof. And as far as settling debt, Michael's gone into the breach. He's dealing with some IRS issues now, operating privately in private capacity, and he's dealing with the monkeys at the circus in their private capacity, because now they'll be in their full commercial, unlimited liability in the way he's going with them, and now he'd fall under the parameters of the UPU if they divert the cargo from getting it to its appointed destination, as well as settling the account. Any further transgressions after this has been met correctly, operating in the private, will mean they're going to be applying postal fraud to try and trick us. So that would be a postal fraud. That would be a UPU act. The UPU does have a pile of power, folks, for those of you who are not familiar with it. Most of you are not, because the UPU has not come into play for a long time because everybody's been fiction. Now we're alive as far as us folks in the Divine Province. So it's a different game, and it's not a game, but it's a different day, and they just haven't got the memo yet, but they're all fixing to get the memo, especially the hubris ones that operate in hubris with the malice intent and malintent, because it's a whole different game when you operate on the private side. If any further retribution from the clowns of the circus, because you're no longer a dead entity, is going to be met with severe, swift, and very sure consequences, not implemented by us. The UPU takes care of all the right work. Those are going to be ones who are going to be disappearing or bringing forward the clerks of the court to divert the private cargo when you do double seal technology, which is another animal I haven't covered, but we're creating that as well. So got some really, really neat stuff, folks, going on. So, come on in. The water's fine. Got to take the first step for our over. I know it's the only bummer because we're working on setting up that as we speak. So for those that are still in the Gestapo state of America, and you don't like the way the plantation's working, have the option of plantation. It's really that simple. Administrative and not rocket science.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate a bit on the Universal Postal Union, the UPU. One of the things that I mentioned the other night, and people actually need to hear what it is that's being said. It's not the United States Postal Union or the European Postal Union or the North American it's the Universal Postal Union. It's called that for a very, very particular reason. And again, this is going outside the box into different realms, and when people can start to see exactly what it is that JT and Peter and Michael and everyone in the Divine Province is bringing forth, it is above the Universal Postal Union. And that's why when Peter is saying, when you transgress against anyone with that diplomatic status of the Divine Province, you get yourself, if you're not one of the leader ones, you get yourself an all-expense paid one-way ticket to The Hague in Belgium, and it's a one-way ticket because you ain't coming home. Some of the people that might want to get an idea of the magnitude of that transgression just with the United States Code, which applies worldwide, by the way, United States Code Section 18, you go down in there and there are some very, very, very serious repercussions for transgressing on what it is that we're talking about tonight. I did want to touch on a couple other things with regards to the in the condition of being in Mammon or Babylon or on the plantation. I'm just going to ask a couple of questions that were asked of me, and I'll give you my feeling on it first to see if I was correct in my assessment, and if not, I would appreciate a check on it. Someone had asked me about somebody had asked me about. Sorry, getting an echo there. Warrants. If there's a warrant out for like a bench warrant or whatever against someone, and they'd ask, could they go in and settle the account that way? And well, my first feeling on it was, well, if you've got a warrant out for you, the first thing I will tell you to do is not go near them, but maybe pick up the phone and put the file number that may be involved with that warrant, and tell them that you want to settle the account, that you have the bond number, and you have the necessary forms that they can fill out for the QSIPs. And when you make an appointment to come in and settle the account, just to start planting seeds that way as well. So anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Peter?
I was off in La La Land. I was typing in some stuff on the Postmaster General for a brother.
I love you.
For Tony. So, hey, you can ramble on all you want. I can visit my brain in another world, sweetheart.
Okay. Well, let me ask the question. If someone has a warrant on them, what can they do about it? I suggested just calling in with the file number and offering to settle the account over the phone, or at least put that fear into them that you know what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, well, definitely don't give them a physical address, because they'll come and throw you in the jug. You know. So, the issues I'm dealing with as far as this outside the box deal. I'm not telling people with warrants to do this. If you've got a warrant, you walk in the side door, they're gonna disappear you real quick.
Well, that's why I'm saying to phone in rather than First thing you don't want to go near them, but definitely phone in and plant the seed of what's going on, just to see what the reaction is.
Yeah, I think the reaction is they're going to try and do a three-way trace on the phone call so they can find your physical whereabouts. Now they got tracking on everything, on GPS and everything. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't think I would.
And that's why I asked.
Yeah, I'm just saying because they're that hard up these days. I mean, so you got to think about every action. For those people that got warrants, I tell them, I guess you got to go eat the big crab sandwich. It'll be the last time. You got to give them your blood, go settle it. That way, this way it's not hanging over your head, or unless you know how to get off the slave plantation before they can find you. But if you're dealing with that issue, I've got people who are dealing with those issues, and I say, well, you need it. It's usually just a minor issue. And so it's just best sometimes just go eat a crap burger for the last time in your life, and then you can't do nothing when you're in the jug.
Oh yeah, totally, and that's why it was brought up to me. It's brought up a few people actually, and not so much in regards to themselves, but in regards to other people. If there was anything that I thought they could do, my only feeling on it was, whether or not they could three-way trace the call, but to do it from a payphone or something. Now, who cares? But just to call in about the file to let them know that you got onto their game, to plant that seed. Whether it's going to change things or not, that's another story. But I think in most cases, you could probably talk to a DA or talk to a Crown prosecutor or something, and say, listen, I know what's going on, I know how to settle the account, and here's what we're going to do. And who knows? I mean. Again, it was an observation and a question that was given.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know. I try not to deal with the scumbags, so I don't have many options for those that got warrants. I guess you can call if you want, but see, there's nothing stronger than death and standing face to face with the clowns at the circus. However, if you got a warrant, you can't do that, so that's not an option. You do it over the phone, they're going to laugh your ass. They're going to they don't care. They think you're some dumb hillbilly from Podunk, and even though you're giving them the truth straight up and you know what you know, that's not going to have any power or effect in my mind. It won't have any power and effect. All you're going to do is piss off the friggin' bees nest worse. You have no way to affect the remedy unless you actually know how to fill out those bonds, and I'm not teaching that. I don't have any compunction to really want to.
No, yeah. So. Yeah. I don't want to say I brought it up as a question. Another one that's come up as well as far as probation, given that that is obviously something that, well, you have to go and see them anyway, according to their rules, where you could walk in and just ask to see, reopen the file and say, listen, rather than the rest of probation, I'm here to settle the account, finish it out. Again, people, and I think, Peter, you'll agree with me on this, every scenario with every individual is different. And this is not legal advice. This is where you have to feel it out for yourself or for those that you're trying to help. And it's about being a responsible adult. I mean, there are things that Peter would do, that I would do, that I wouldn't. And not as superheroes, it's because we just don't take shit from people. And that's the bottom line. Is I'm not getting for crime. And that's how it works. And until people break that sheeple mentality of thinking somehow their rules have power over you, the only power they have is that you think they do. And you're not harmed. That's the whole idea about going to peace with these people. And again, this is, I go back to the ethereal aspect of good and evil, in that you can look at something as being evil, but it woke up your sorry ass, and that's why you're listening right now. So you got to the good and bad equally. There's good and evil in everything. So again, you got to be an adult. I think that's probably the best approach. Yes, be an adult, but act a 5-year-old child that won't take no for an answer when you're going to settle the account. Fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Tony, jump. Yeah, it's your night.
No, you guys are doing fine. It's more important that you get this information across than anything that's coming out of my gob. So carry on. I'm loving it. I'm learning every single bit that I can possibly learn from it. So please keep it up. Go for it, guys.
I just sent Tony I just sent Tony the PMG information, so he now has that door open. He's directed to the site, and he can go look at the authority, read all the documents. He's going to love this. Oh, brother, you are going to love this. Hey, you think you're excited now? Wait till you start digging in. And our brother JT has not hidden anything. He shows everything. I mean, this guy, he doesn't hide the fact that they made him a political prisoner. All these people. Matter of fact, hey, I had a rumor going out by Lewin. Yeah, I got a call out for this Lewin clown. Do you know anybody know who Louis Ewing is? Hey?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
You know who Louis Ewing is? He's in the States here.
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
He's a scum-sucking idiot. He's fighting the system. He's warring with them. He's got his little pepperhead followings and all this other stuff. And he actually put out a post that JT was in jail. Brother McBride, our Postmaster General. And I said, what is wrong with these people? And this is the diatribe that goes across America, and the sheep are so stinking gullible. Yeah, well, JT was so far in the hole in the jail when I talked to him last night. But this is the type of crap. You've got people killing for lives. It's like this is the crap, and this is the crazy-making behavior that's causing the dissension of my America, because it ain't mine the way it sits now. Because all these ignorant SOBs with the clucking tongues, you got your Jaro specials out there, and they all think they're self-important, and all they know how to do is cluck their tongues and divert their brothers and sisters from the truth to get free for real, and they're busy making up lies. I mean, I actually got the email post from an idiot, and I'm mad as hell that I won't even mention the name, but he's supposedly coming on board in the Divine Province. For you to even be sending this swill out, making you a party to a false, that's like making a false charge against your brother. You know what I'm saying? He said he was looking for clarification, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on him. But he's looking to come in the Divine Province, but who knows if he's going to actually follow the clowns at the surface. Maybe he needs to keep following those clowns. I don't know. But this is I just caught this last night. I got an email last night saying, "Oh, J.T. McBride's in jail," and blah 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 blah. I mean, are these people that pretty insignificant in their lives? They got to actually really tell total lies. I mean, I was closing out information with JC last night. That's how far in the hole he was. All these, I mean, as a matter of fact, there's major changes coming. I talked to Brother McBride last night. So, you know, all the liars got to keep clucking their tongues. It's all the busy, crazy-making behavior that keeps us divided as men and women to get off the slave plantation, to bind ourselves up with the superfluous crap. It doesn't mean nothing. But this is what's out there, folks.
I want to jump in here for a second. I just want to make a couple of things very clear for people listening. Where things might be deemed as being disparaging comments against others that we may be trying to get into Divine Province, I need people to hear things from this perspective, and I really want to get this across to people. What you are hearing from Peter and myself and Tony and others is the absolute frustration of knowing we can help, and people are hammering at the door asking for help, but are unwilling to listen. It is driving me nuts. I have been putting out fires from people's attitudes for weeks now, and it is getting to a point where everyone thinks that, you know, people can contact me anytime they want, but some people take the liberty of contacting me every time they need their hand held. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to serve all. And my frustration is that when people do that, I cannot help others. I get distracted away from others. And it's a very selfish thing. So the energy that you may be feeling from us is just the energy of being frustrated that we cannot help others because there are some that are so selfish and self-serving that they won't allow us the opportunity to do that. This is what we're talking about. So if there's any aspect, and keep in mind, we speak from a different level here too. When I speak to people, and if I sound disparaging, it's not disparaging I'm being towards them. It's towards the program that they are running called Cain in the left mind. It is that physical, pre-programmed, owned by HARP and every manner of electromagnetic device they have running here that is not the being that I'm speaking to, because the one I'm speaking to that I want so desperately to talk to is the most beautiful light in the universe, and that's the real you, not that shit layer that's been smeared over you that makes you think that's what we're knocking away. We're trying to shred that out of people where they will finally stand up and be all grown up. And instead of asking question after question after question after question, use your noggin. Try to assess what's going on here. Be the observer. We're not here to put words in your mouth for you or words on a piece of paper for you. That is system speak, system think, system do. And we're trying to break that program. And sometimes it takes a bit of tough love. And I'm sorry, if people are offended, it's not you that I'm offending. It's your ego, the program. Me, you can't offend me. I don't allow it. And if I am strong enough to know that I am looking to be wrong in things before I can say anything is true. And the one claim that I will make to most people listening right now is I've been wrong more times in my life than you. And therefore, I have learned more as a result. That's why the schooling program of you've got to get, you know, a little gold star on your 10 out of 10 and all the rest of it, what they're doing is they're programming your ego to be right, that it's critical. You're only important if you're right. And that sends you in the completely wrong direction. In order to see things, you have to look at it from the black and white, from the high and the low, the male, the female. You have to look at them from the opposite. And if you are only looking at it from a need to be right, you are only dealing with pure ego. And that is the last thing that Peter, myself, and others at this critical juncture have time for. And I'll be honest, I got pretty nasty with a couple of people this morning because I was dealing with that same program over and over, and I'm done with it. And I'm telling people right now, if it continues, I block you, and you won't have access. I need people to sit back and breathe. This is not a drive-through truth shop, guys. Let's go back a little bit, Peter. I go back to people that I know have walked this path for a much longer time, and it's their shoulders that I stand on. It's people like Eldon Warman and Mary Elizabeth Croft. These people, the ones that have been for a very long time, I have the drive to bring what they brought forth as their dream to fruition because I get to be part of it because they helped create it. This is about bringing them together and connecting them, and the Divine Province has that. And if people can't handle it, then you cannot handle your own freedom. And quite frankly, give you carte blanche. You're just as dangerous as the armed goon that pulls people over. The dog is chasing cars. So, this is where we're asking for the balance, for a little bit of neutrality. This is where you might hear the passion in our voices. You might hear the pain we feel because we want you to get it. Sadly. Because when you win, we win. Not the other way around. We just want you to win, but we want it in the right way, the peaceful, the responsible, pure anarchist way, the self-responsible. You know, I don't think that's too much to ask, especially for people that are listening right now. You guys are smart enough, you dialed in. And the truth of the matter is, you shouldn't be offended because you're finally awake enough, like us, to look in the mirror and go, well, maybe I don't know everything. And maybe I'm going to have a look for myself instead of being system mentality and leaning on someone else to hold my hand and make sure my mittens have strings on them. You know? It's like, Peter, you know, I'm not belaboring the point because it's a pity party. I'm trying to give you guys a perspective. I am broken at the knees here. I have given everything for this, and I'm still talking. And I'm still putting up with this shit from idiots. All right? So, you know, while you're sitting back, while people are sitting back in their nice, cozy little homes with their TVs and everything else, there are people like me that are literally living on the land, living in a tent, having had everything shredded, their family, everything shredded, have suffered, and not as much as most, I will say. I'm very grateful for that. But I've suffered in my own way. I got taken down and taken down hard. But it didn't take me to the ground. I'm still standing. I might be on my knees, but I'm still standing. And I still got my torch that never touched the ground. Came awful bloody close a few times, but it never touched the ground. And all I'm asking you to do is stop kicking people like us by getting it. Just get it. It's not rocket science. Can you handle blank paper? Can you handle reading a few instructions? Can you handle it being spoon-fed to you in the easiest, most profound way you could ever imagine? You don't have to read the countless books and volumes that we have. You don't have to go through all the crap to siphon out the truth. It's already there, and it's in bite-sized bits. Sorry, not a drive-through, guys. What do you think, Peter?
Oh, yeah. All right. They're going to get it when they get it. That's how it works.
You know, like I hear, you know what, Peter, I've talked to you off the air many times, and it's not, I don't hear anger or anything. The only thing I hear in your voice is pain. That's what I hear in your voice when I talk to you. When we get going, and that's what I need people to understand, this is not anger or hate or anything. This is sheer pain of knowing what we know and trying to get it through to people. This is the gifts of you, but listen and take 5 minutes responsibility with yourself. You want to train yourself to read? Then start reading. I don't care. Read a comic book. Get back in the groove. You know, we've been so dumbed down. Oh, I don't remember last time I picked up a pen. I do all my writing typing. I used to write thousands of pages every year, handwritten. You know, but whatever. Hey, Tony, you there? Did we lose Tony?
No, I'm here. I'm just diving through websites and stuff and checking information and copying links and making sure people that matter actually get some information, get the information that they need.
Yeah.
You know, it needs to be done, doesn't it? So I'm getting on and doing it.
Yeah, no, that's great. And there it is. For those to get what we're talking about, all the information's there. You can get it on the suijuris.me site. That's MUISJURIS. And you can get it on my blog page at loveovermind.wordpress.com. I have offered my cell phone. I have offered my Skype. I have offered my email. And do you know how many people have contacted me? Well, there's been a few, but not enough. That's the sad part.
Well, no, you want to hear something sad, Kate? We've had
Sure.
SueyJurist.me open for 5 months now. You know how many people we got signed up to be that are like, because it doesn't cost nothing, it's free. You know, it's all good. About 780 people in the last 5 months. So I tell you what, we are making an impact on the world. I'm being facetious as hell. I mean, there's 50,000 people. You got these clowns out there called Jaro doing forth their rhetoric and their crap and their busy making behavior, and we have the truth. We have the whole deal, and we've got a lousy 780. Oh, by the way, but you need to go read my new cover page I put up there, because I can be a mouthpiece, and I am a mouthpiece, and I just posted out there, because out of that 780 that we have on there, I'm willing to bet not 10% has got off their can in administrative process, even though they got the keys to freedom sitting right in their freaking lap. And these are the members of SueyJurist.me. So it's all good. I mean, hey, as a matter of fact, when you read my post here, I'm going to pull it up because I can, because I was having fun. This is what I wrote today. It's posted on the cover page. I said, Michael, it's time to shake the tree again, because the tree needs some pruning and trimming, and it's all good. And I said, I gave some proofs that I talked to you and shared with you today about. And I said, here, and this is, and then I get down to the bottom, and I said, for all those who choose to remain slaves on the plantation, this is what you have to look forward to. See, because I'm not mincing no words. I brought my baseball bat. Let's see. Number one, forced Obamacare, allowing you to be chipped like cattle starting next March to track you like the good slave you are. These are guarantees. I'm not making this up. So for all those who really want to, your inability to make a choice to get yourself free when you have the capacity, what will you do when you no longer have a choice? Let's go to number two. Forced Obamacare to get all the shots that are packed with the aerosol and mercury to effectively compromise your immune system. That's what you get to be when you're a good slave. Oh, yeah, and then through the forced tracking of through the chip in your body, they get to access all the slave banking transactions forevermore, so they can steal whatever they need. And then number four, they get forced income taxes to be drawn directly from their traceable chip to be taken out without proof you owe anything. So anyways, I said I could go on and on, but I think they got the point. I said, this is what you want for you and your children. Enjoy your new slave status and whine to your masters. So you have a choice for a minute. When do you draw the line in the sand? I said, we have a 700-plus members that are happy slaves on the plantation because they haven't done nothing yet. If you are not happy being a slave, however, then what are you waiting for? It's a simple business administrative decision to remove your estate out of USA Inc. by a simple action. First in line is first in time. I says I will help all 700 get out now. Send an email. I put my actual email address. If you want to get off the slave ship now, have a great day. Freedom comes to all who have the faith of a mustard seed to take an action. The operative word is action. But anyways, I posted that on the cover page today because I actually gave the proofs. And I asked what today's post was, what are you waiting for? 90% of the people that are already on our site, I guess they're waiting for matter of fact, here, you like what I wrote. You got me started. You freaking wound me up, so I'm gonna run with this for a second because I'm having fun now. I said, I've noted that we have over 800 members on SueyJurist.me, but out of that membership, less than 10% of the membership has been administrated their Step 1 administrative process. I said, this is very disheartening to say the least. It seems that everyone is waiting for permission and a proof to have the faith of a mustard seed to come into the divine province. I said, well, I state here and now you have my permission. I'm giving them my permission, Kate, because I think that's what they're waiting for. It's the only thing that makes sense to me in my head. So I said, well, it seems that could be the only reason stopping my brothers and sisters from coming forward. I said, the only other reason stopping my brothers and sisters from coming forward to the divine province is they don't have no proof that this is real and it works. So then I posted 3 things that I already covered with you about when I went to the postmaster's office and got my check, my money order cash. Michael went and he got his stuff, and then I covered Juan when he went through the airport. And there's a plethora of other ones. I just didn't want to bind up my whole cover page with a bunch of success stories. So anyway, long story short, I actually posted this today about 6 hours ago on the suijuris.me site. So folks, if you're reading this, is it directed for you, anybody that's new? It's for the ones who have been sitting on their hands since they've been on suijuris.me, and there's like 800 of them, 90% are still waiting for permission. So you all got my permission. You heard it here first on Kate's show. What do you think, Kate? You think it's all right if I give them permission? Because they're waiting for permission because they asked for permission to never be slaves.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I actually popped away there for a second. Tony had the helm and there was no gap, so I just told Tony figured that. And I was just going to write to him, might as well say it, you know, Peter, you are a radio host dream come true, my friend. You really are. Because I got to tell you, there's not many people over the years that I've interviewed that I can trust just to keep going. And a lot of times it's, you know, getting you know, hosts to really get, or guests to get in the groove. Usually it's like pulling hen's teeth, so thanks for that. But again, it's about, you know, the information is available. And yeah, go ahead, Tony, go.
Can I comment on something that was said there for a moment?
Sure.
In 2006, on the 6th day of the 6th month in 2006, Bush announced the 666 microchip program. And again, this is detailed in the book, Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness. Shows you the information that this is what they plan to do all the time. And this is the point. It's rolling out. People, please, listen. You're being warned. You're being told. You're having it in your face. You're having it from all different angles. We're on the money here, right? This stuff is real. Wake the hell up. For God's sake. For your sake.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one counting the people we've lost. And that's really, you know, you can say what you want about our, you know, our past and all the rest of it, but the bottom line is this: you know, my attitude is not to be left behind. Unfortunately, that's not going to be my choice. That is yours. I've made mine, and some very, very dear people close to me have made theirs, and there's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is continue to be a light and share what I know, and they'll either get it or they won't. And thankfully, I know there will be at least a little bit of time where what I have been able to share with people, and Peter, you're the same with sharing with people, and Tony as well, where that one instance, a happenstance that we come across, will be the one thing that will finally catalyze and wake them up. And then, you know, but, you know, here's the thing. I don't want people acting, you know, when it's too late. You know, it's like, the rainstorm has already started, and most people are standing there without umbrellas, wondering why they're getting wet. We're just trying to give you umbrellas.
Oh, but as long as you're not suffering from anti-government phobia, it's really not rain. Just ignore it. You're suffering anti-government phobia. The rain that's coming down on your head, that's not rain. That's sunshine. What the hell is wrong with you? Get with the program, Kate. Why are you telling them a lie? Yeah, that's what they tell us, folks. If you have I'm being facetious, but this is the whole scam, folks. You've been 911 to death. Now they're going to NDAA your butt. They want to do all these other fun things. I'm not trying to be negative. It's, hey, I see the whole big picture. And hey, folks, and that's what I told my wife. I says, when do you draw your line in the sand? When they're putting the chip in your butt cheek and now you're really chattel property? They won't do that. Yeah, well, hello. Hey, folks, it's in the Obama bill. I got the 2,000-page document sitting on my desktop for anybody who'd like to read it. I actually read things, folks. Hey, and I read where it says right in it. I actually got a 9-minute video that covers this chip technology. So for all you naysayers and the ones that want to play ostrich and go into cognitive dissonance, you're lying to yourself and yourself only. Because your children will be chipped, you will be chipped, and I hope you'll love the Marisol and Mercury in your vaccinations, and because they do compromise your immune system. Not that I would know anything about medicine since I was in it for 10 years. But hell, what the hell do I know? I'm just some dumbass Navy doc, you know? Anyways, I'm sorry. I got excited. I forgot to take my medication again, damn it.
Yeah, it's all good. And I am actually... I need you to know that I'm actually starting to get email already from the show, so this is good. People looking for certain things. On the audio file... actually, I'll quickly look at this email for you. This might help you. It says further down, you suggested that you give the DA also a copy of the BC securitization scam that I would have printed out to bring with me. However, I've looked all over the site and do not see anything titled BC or BC securitization. So what I'm thinking is it's just the BC scam is the name of the document, yeah? Because regardless, I am now attaching it to this email, and I'm sending it off anyway, so it doesn't matter. But just for anyone that is looking for the BC securitization scam, it's just called the BC scam, and that's all you need to know on that. Right. It's actually under step 3 on the homepage, and it's highlighted in blue. If you click on it, it comes right up, and you can download it as a PDF file and send it to all your friends at the county clerk's court and stuff, and share it with all their friends, the judges, and share it with all their friends and the baileys and the bailors. Matter of fact, I might go to the some of these jugs where all these guys work and say, hey guys, you might want to read this. You want to have some fun? I mean, hey, what are they going to do? Lock anyway. I don't sweat the small stuff. But this is the way my brain thinks, folks. I mean, I'm down for the wake up call. What about y'all?
Already signed and sealed, mate.
Yeah, well, hey, we're already done. You know that. And again, it's and I'm looking at it from the road that I've had to walk and all the different things that I've had to uncover. And I, for a very long time, was heavily in the legal stuff except when it came to me at the very end there. That's how dangerous things got with the Denique. I was batting 1,000. I hadn't lost a thing. You know, I've shut down courtrooms on cell phones, had courtrooms sealed, had people physically removed because they were on a phone with me, and I said, this is what you say, and then they say it, and then they say, okay, well, and they'd literally get escorted out of the room. I've had, massive amounts of debt disappear. I've owned law firms to the point where people were trying stuff sort of, but there was a typical milking the cow from both sides. You know how they do that, right? That's what they do. And shut them down with a couple of emails. And in one case, it was helped someone out to the tune of over $1 million worth of real estate in cash. You know, of course, I got paid for that. I got a turkey. I guess that's what $1 million is. But anyway, that was my lesson to. All that told me was I'm just helping keep people in the illusion. So I moved on from there. But anyway, the truth is we've been down so many of these roads, read so many of their books and what have you, deciphering, breaking codes, looking at things, looking at it from the ethereal, Tony, you, me, and God knows whoever, just looking at it from way outside the box. And it's a very simple thing. It's about controlling your mind, people. And it's time to set yourself free. If you think you need permission, go back to sleep. This is about doing what you need to do because you need to do it. I don't know. I didn't call the chief of police this morning to ask if I could go pee somewhere. I just kind of handled that all by myself.
Can I just add something to that, Kate? From my perspective, from the research that I've done, and we talked about this before on several occasions about the soul having the weight. The point being is that I believe, and I have researched a lot of this information, the point is we reincarnate on this planet. And I believe if they actually get this chip system in place, they've pretty much got us nailed. And they've got us nailed to reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate on this planet pretty much for good. That's my honest and truthful belief. Whether it's right or wrong is neither here nor there. All I can do is present the evidence. but I do believe that's where they're trying to take us.
I totally get it. Just something else I wanted to bring up, another email very quickly. We've only got like 6 minutes left here. Canada jurisdiction or UK jurisdiction or Australian jurisdiction, based on the people that I've been talking to over the last few days, everything comes through direct current. District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., all centered there now. That is the headquarters of the world, basically, because here's the thing, every lawyer and judge and everything in their legal system is all part of the Bar Society, which is through London. So regardless of where you are in the world as a bought and paid for lawyer or whatever, you are still a citizen of the City of London. So, yeah, we're working on the stuff for Canada. I'm guinea pig, and I've already pledged to Divine Province, so my invoice is already made. Peter, you've already accepted my request to be a part of Divine Province. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just, the paperwork is secondary. It's where your heart and mind are. It's where you're willing to stand. So as soon as we have all that stuff done, which is no problem, it's just a couple of different parties in each country, or each corporation, as I like to call them, that need to be notified. But as far as that goes, bonds are bonds, or bonds are bonds. It doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Same documents apply. It's the same rules everywhere in the world.
Yep.
So anyway, hopefully that answers the email. So any final thoughts there, Peter? We have 5 minutes left here for a quick wrap up.
I think I need to get medicated. I'm suffering from AGP. I think they're going to want to put me in and reprogram my brain. Well, too late now. Can't reprogram what you don't have.
We're suffering from TMIS, too many idiot syndrome. And I'm being listen. It's not the being I'm calling an idiot. It's the program, because I know the program's an idiot. Every Kane program's an idiot, including the one I had. It's all good. Get over your.
Yep.
Just a ride.
Well, this has been a very good, a little slower paced call for me today, and I'm glad I came on because I didn't know if I was up for another call, but I knew in my mind that we can pace ourselves a little bit. I'm getting more clarity. I was pretty much down in the dumps this morning. I mean, I was feeling the weight of the pain of my brothers and sisters because I'm getting a lot of turds brought to the doorstep, and I'll tell you what, when you get a lot of turds, it gets a little crappy. And I'm not being negative. I'm just saying, when you deal with other people's pain, it becomes sort of internalized. You got to decompress a little bit. I actually sat out on the porch, just cried for about 2 hours because I was in so much pain. Because I see the deep, dark, black crap all around me, and it can be overwhelming. So I had to decompress and go get a good cry. A real man does cry. The marshmallow inside now. I know who I am. My daughters know who I am. And, that's not nothing to back out of any corner with, because that's the problem with the whole world today. I was telling Tony earlier, where is my brothers and sisters' heart for each other? They put value in crap, in things. My parents, my brothers and sisters, my bloodline, and my brothers and sisters in the world, who literally, when your brother brings you, asks you for a loaf of bread, and you give him a stone instead, and that's the mindset of the masses. Not all of them. There's still some good people. I can't cast stones in dispersion, but as a whole, the love. I mean, everybody's in a rush. All I see is dead eyes everywhere. I see there's nothing behind the dead eye. And, folks, if we don't shake this shit pretty soon, it's going to be a lot more dead eyes and a lot more dead asses, I think. So, however, in my case, I'm golden. I stepped over to the other side. And this is all right, folks. Everybody has the right to be free, but you got to make the choice. It all comes down to choice, like I've been saying.
Okay, Peter, I got a minute and a half here. Not to cut you short, but yeah, absolutely. And I did want to do a quick thank you to some people, Jacob and Jonathan. Yeah, a friend you don't know, John. I know you. Thank you. as people that have actually sent a little bit more to help keep me going. So thank you for that, and all those that have chipped in on the Freedom Reigns. Yeah, you are actually helping to change the world. You're helping me. You're helping everybody. You're helping Peter. You're helping Tony, and Tony, definitely you got to chip in as well on your website. But I want to say thank you, Peter, and thank you, Tony. You guys rock my world. You give me a sense of purpose, and we're going to end the pain, and we all feel it. So we're just going to stand here with the torches. We'll keep fighting and screaming until people wake up and come home. That's all we're looking for. To light the way, and the choice is yours out there listening. Do you want to come home, or do you want to stay out in the cold? And quite frankly, I'm freezing here, so I want to go home too. But anyway, Peter, thank you. And Tony, it's a blessing to have you. And Tony, thank you. We got like 5 seconds. So you've been listening to Outside the Box here on Freedom Reigns Blog Talk Radio. Thank you so much. Love to all. Good night.
Good night. Thanks, Tony. We'll catch you.